Welcome, friends. It's your boy, old Bearby here. I'm glad that they didn't do another reboot from the beginning. And that's my review. Thanks for coming, folks. Good night. I'm just kidding. Just joking. So, The Batman. How was it for me? Well, first of all, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen The Batman yet, do go and see it before watching this video, probably, unless you want to get spoiled. I watched it on HBO Max. I didn't have access to theaters, seeing as how I'm in the desert right now. But HBO Max worked out just fine for me, and I watched it the other day. And here are my thoughts. Here's my review. This movie does have a plot, which is good. And the plot is very much a detective story. Even though it has the veneer of a superhero film, it is a detective story at heart. The Riddler is a serial killer, and Batman must solve his riddles to apprehend the Riddler. It's very noir, as many other reviewers have been stating. Detective, noir, those two go together well. And in this movie, it pulls it off quite well, plot-wise. Now, I did have some issues with the pacing at first, but I had to remind myself this is a different kind of Batman. Not to say the pacing was necessarily too slow. I think at first, though, it moved a little slower than what we're used to with comic book films. With what I'm used to, at any rate. It seemed a little slow pacing-wise for me up front. But that may have been due to the type of story that's being told and the way that it's being told, a detective story. We also get these journal snippets for Batman. Kind of reminds me of Watchmen's Rorschach's journal. Instead, it's Batman's journal. And we get some of those every so often. I'm kind of on the fence about those journal entries. I almost feel like, I don't know, it feels kind of weird for Batman to be keeping a journal. Maybe that's normal, I don't know. I'm not used to Batman having a journal like that. And when Batman first appears, wow, he really is fearsome. And it's kind of funny because the villains are laughing at first, like they don't take him seriously. Who's this guy dressed up as a giant bat? We don't have to fear him. But then as we get progressive shots of the Batman going to work on these criminals, it quickly becomes scary. And by the way, speaking of the plot, that is one criticism that some people have had, that this Batman movie is too scary. I don't think it's too scary. I think Batman is sort of lends itself to scary stories. One of the purposes of Batman, one of his goals, is to strike fear into the heart of criminals. So it does make sense that fear is an important, shall we say, tool in this film. Now, as far as the actors go, I thought the actors did a very, very, very good job. Robert Pattinson, since the Twilight series, has really been putting out some great films, showcasing his talent as an actor. And this is very much the same as far as showcasing his abilities as an actor. He does very well. Zoe Kravitz, as Catwoman, also does an excellent job. In this Batman movie, I do think we got a little bit more focus on Bruce Wayne, as some other reviewers have mentioned. I'm kind of on the fence about this. I'm not exactly saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing. I think Pattinson does a great job in both roles. However, sometimes when the focus was too much on Bruce Wayne, when he's spying on criminals and whatnot, I kind of wish that Batman was doing the spying. I wonder if it would be a little more cool if we have Batman. I mean, it is Batman's movie and not Bruce Wayne's movie. And this Batman really is very good at riddles. I kind of wonder if it would have been better if Batman wouldn't have been so great at riddles. It's almost too convenient. I don't want to say the word contrived, but for him to be that good at riddles, and then his main opponent in this movie is a Riddler, and he has no prep time for the Riddler, it would have made more sense to me if Batman failed the first few riddles, then used his abilities as an excellent prepper to become a riddle master to defeat the Riddler. I kind of wanted to see some progression in Batman's ability to solve riddles. He was almost too OP from the beginning. Everyone else was scratching their head, all these detectives who have years of experience on the force, and Batman was immediately like, I know the answer to this riddle, I know the answer to everything. He didn't even have to spend much time thinking about it. That's a minor criticism, but I still thought that was really cool that Batman was a match for the Riddler, showing that Batman's not just physically powerful, but also very intelligent. Catwoman was also a highlight of this movie. And I was very, very happy that there's even more Catwoman in this movie than in the previous ones. Zoe Kravitz, as I mentioned, really knocked it out of the park in this role. These recent Catwomen in the movies, that shows that they're more chaotically good. And I'm not really sure if I like this or not. I kind of wish that there was more space for a redemption story for Catwoman, even more so than the last Catwoman. This Catwoman right away is depicted as mostly good. She's not trying to steal for her own benefit. She's not really a cat burglar so much as someone that just cares about her friend. I mean, she kind of is. She is stealing things, but right away it's established that she's really a good person and just cares a lot about her friend and wants to help her friend out. And that's why she's stealing, to get more information about her friend and such. I kind of just wish that there would have been more room for a redemption arc for this Catwoman. And why is it that Catwoman in these recent movies really wants to get out of town? I mean, if the town's become a mess because of all the crime, wouldn't she want to stay there to take advantage of that? I mean, I get that we're trying to show a better side of Catwoman, and at the same time, it shows she might be a little cowardly. I don't know. That was just a little thing that I don't understand about Catwoman. Why is she always trying to leave Gotham so much? Nice to meet you, Batman. We had a great adventure together. Now I gotta leave. Sorry. And then she drives away on her motorcycle into the sunset. And that's basically the way the movie ends. As I said, spoiler alert. And Paul Dano did a very, very good job portraying the Riddler. Really a creepy, creepy Riddler. Now we have a serial killer Riddler. For the most part, I enjoyed this Riddler. At times, he did seem a little too similar to the Joker. Especially towards the end where he's like, I don't want to kill you. Why would I want to kill you? You complete me. That's basically what he says at the end. And then not long after that, we do get that little scene with the Joker laughing, and they're like, "Can we be friends?" In Arkham. It's like, come on, Riddler, get your own deal with Batman. He already has a BFF. Another very small critique I have is that Batman is super, super, super durable in this movie. He does take this green serum at some point, and that kind of explains that scene. But before that, he has a bomb explode in his face, flies back many, many feet, and somehow survives without even really any injuries. A bomb exploding in his face. I don't know how Batman became that durable, but in this movie, he is very, very durable. There's another scene where he falls into some vehicles. I think he's even more durable than what we've seen in the other movies, so this is interesting. I don't know if there's a reason for this that we're gonna get later. Maybe it has something to do with that green serum, or maybe he's just that strong for a human being and that lucky. Also, he gets shot with a shotgun. And yes, he does have bulletproof. Yes, he is wearing some kind of bulletproof armor, but to be shot that many times, it seems like there would be some permanent damage. Those are just some little things. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It was very dark, it was very interesting, it was very atmospheric, and even with some of the little things that I was scratching my head at, I'm still gonna give this movie 4 out of 5 bear paws. I was very happy with it. And that's my review, folks. See you in the future.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light.